Hi, and welcome back to Lisa's Stamp Studio. I've got a technique for you today that uses this, one of the small ink spots, in addition to an embossing folder. And this technique will work with any embossing folder and any ink, and it doesn't require the use of your embossing machine. We're going to create a very fun and random background. If this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, I would love to have you subscribe. Click the subscribe button down below and make sure you click that small bell icon that's next to it. That will send you notifications when I'm live here on YouTube, as well as when I upload a new video. Let's head over to the stamp table and let's get started on today's technique. For this technique, you'll need an embossing folder, and I'm using one of the small ink spots with Stampin' Up. Now I've got a sample to show you that's completely finished that uses numerous colors, but I want to teach you using just one ink spot so that you can get an idea of how this works. The ink spots are actually included as part of each month's Paper Pumpkin kit. Paper Pumpkin is a great way for you to stamp at home with pre-cut supplies. This happens to be one of the Christmas. Inside, you get an ink spot every single month, a different color, as well as a photopolymer stamp set that has a limited edition and only available in the kit, and pre-cut supplies to make a project. Each month's kit is a little bit of a surprise. Sometimes it's cards, sometimes it's tags. It can even be a 3D project. Paper Pumpkin can be subscribed on a monthly basis over at lisastampstudio.com and click on the Online Classes tab. You can also create your own ink spots. You can purchase a 5-pack for just $9 and use your ink refills to fill them. You'll find that product in the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. You're going to want to make sure that your work surface is protected for this next step. I'm also going to recommend that you have a rag nearby and a spray bottle with some water for cleanup. I'm going to place a piece of cardstock under my embossing folder to make it easier for you to see. And you're going to open up the embossing folder so it's flat. Feel on both sides. One side's going to be more bumpy and raised, where the other one's going to be slightly smoother. I recommend using the bumpy side for this technique, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it around. I'm going to take my Pool Party Stampin' Spot, and I'm going to rub it right on top of the embossing folder. Now you can create stripes of different colors, which is wonderful because these ink spots are really easy to use and they're about 1 inch in diameter. Or you can create random color, which is a sample that I also have to share with you when we're all finished. Tapping the ink spot is always fun because you'll get a random amount of depth of color in one spot versus another, which will give you a really interesting background. Once it's been inked up, you're going to take your white or vanilla cardstock and you're going to lay it right on top. I tend to cut mine a little larger than I'm going to need, and then you're going to close up the embossing folder. I'm going to flip it upside down so that you can see the color that peeks through. And then all you're going to do is take your hand. I like to use my fist just to rub, and I'm transferring the color from the embossing folder up to the cardstock. And again, you may have variations of tone depending on how hard that you've pressed in certain areas. Once you're done rubbing, go ahead and open up the folder, and then you can just pour out your design. Isn't this fun? Also great to use with your punches, great for scrapbooking to create some very random backgrounds for punched or die cut pieces. Now let's talk about the cleanup. I'm going to move that cardstock out of the way and I'm going to open it up here on my work surface. I'm going to take my spray bottle with water and I'm going to spray it generously. Again, this is a vinyl surface. You're going to want to make sure you work on something that's protected. And then I'm going to take my rag and I'm going to wipe off the color. Now it's very, very important that you get it down inside those little nooks and crannies because you don't want to leave any ink on there that could transfer to another project. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing now on the other side where there doesn't appear to be ink. Now I've learned the hard way by not doing that sometimes the color can seep through, so make sure that you clean both sides. Once you're satisfied that it's clean, go ahead and set it up on your table and let it air dry before you use it in your cardstock. This is the one we created using the Pool Party solid background, and I have another one that I use with several colors. I added in Daffodil Delight and Grapefruit Grove, and I created this. Isn't this fun? Now, an important tip for you when you're using this technique with mixing colors, keep in mind that the blue and yellow tones will make a hue of green. So keep that in mind when you're mixing your colors, because if they do overlap while you're inking up the embossing folder, you'll end up with a different color than maybe you intended. Here, I've die cut a vellum circle, and I die cut the words thank you. These come from the thank you dies that are also part of the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you're interested in receiving a complimentary copy of the annual or the current holiday catalog, head over to lisastampstudio.com and click on Contact Me. This is just a fun and easy way to create random backgrounds. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up here on YouTube, and do me a favor, leave me a comment below and tell me how you would use this background technique. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.